so many people saying, please take our money and invest in projects in Ton. And I can speak about it like for 30 minutes, next 30 minutes about like the VC landscape on Ton in general. It's game changer. It is like case by case, depends. But most of the time it's about team backgrounds.
Just drop top 3 concerns.
And there were 55 teams pitching at one bootcamp.
Offline team.
Offline.
Wow.
So yeah, this is how it all started. Yeah, and to be honest, there were a couple fun moments. For example, yeah, we announced 40 million fund right now. We have like 40 million fund. And the thing is, if we would want, we could, I don't know, raise 100 million for the fund because there's so much interest in the ecosystem.
Yeah.
There's so much so many people saying, please take our money and invest in projects in Ton. Essentially, that's the end description of what you can actually describe what's going on in the Ton ecosystem right now. Right now, we started deploying. We already invested or almost invested on the very late stages of due diligence. We have about 8 projects, I believe.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, we have announced only one as far as I remember. But yeah, usually it takes some time from actual investment to announcement. So yeah, just saying that we started just a little bit over 2 months as for now. But yeah, we already have
2 months and already 8 projects. That's a lot.
Because we knew a lot of projects in the ecosystem.
Yeah, exactly.
Already.
Because you're basically from the inside. You know, you are the most possible insiders of all the insiders in the game.
But yeah, in terms of insiders, it means that we just know all the projects.
Yeah.
So I mean, we work closely with the foundation as well because we believe that we have to help the foundation. Because again, foundation is a non-profit organization, so they cannot do many things that actually should be done in the ecosystem. I mean, they cannot invest in projects. They can give grants, but this is usually like not very big grants. This is just like very early stage. They cannot be too deep into projects.
Yeah.
They cannot
Still
help.
supporters, not in terms of like ecosystem support, and as they cannot invest, and that's you almost answered all of the following questions.
Oops, sorry guys. should we end our podcast here? Or?
All right. Thank you for watching.
Just
You can interrupt me any moment if I speak too much. Yeah.
No, that's super all right. And you know, like one thing that I think is still missing, I wanted to ask you, would you love to expand to other ecosystems, or you more consider Ton Ventures as ecosystem fund for Ton and Ton only?
Try to guess based on the name of Ton Ventures.
Exactly. But you know, I had to ask it.
Yeah,
So
we
now
focus
we
only
made-
on Ton.
only
We focus
on Ton.
only on Ton products, on Ton and Telegram, because I mean we're not limited to Telegram, but we see Telegram as like very unfair advantage of Ton ecosystem because distribution is always it's game changer. So we think that products on Telegram with Ton is our main focus. Maybe at some point in the future we will say, okay, we're going to invest in things related to Telegram and not Ton, for
Not
example.
Ton, I see.
I can imagine this kind of situation, but like probability of it is very, very low. But very important to say that we're not saying like if you develop something and we invest in you, we're not saying you have to do it only on Ton.
Oh yeah,
We're fine.
you answering my questions.
one by one.
Yeah,
without
guys,
even
I have to
asking.
say I haven't seen their questions. I'm just like going in the flow.
You're just reading my mind, probably.
Yes, exactly.
Do you have some kind of technology based on Ton to read people's thoughts? Because it looks like that.
Sorry, guys, I cannot say it on the camera. We'll discuss it after. Yeah, jokes aside, people. I answer this way because I've got many questions about like how Ton Ventures work. So I know what are the common questions about Ton Ventures. So I'm just like going with this like script that I already have in my mind, like what people usually ask about Ton Ventures. So yeah, we're not limited projects to build only on Ton. We would love them to build on like Ton as a primary chain, but not only on Ton. If you build on Ton and I don't know, Ethereum, maybe it makes even more sense because you can bring the liquidity from the Ethereum, for example, or Solana or any other chain. So we're completely fine with that. So yeah, I hope I answered the question.
Yeah, you
And
answered
I
it.
have a question also. It's more like a VC specific question about like on this current market. What are the deals timeline? Because we have the current market that is not so good in terms of like funding. Like yes, it's somehow renewed after the bear market. But what are the deals timeline for your VC? How it compares? Whether you benefit from Ton ecosystem because it grows comparing, for example, to Ethereum ecosystem? Yeah. But still, like, can you tell us more about this, about the exit strategies and the expected yield in your VC, or like currently you like just researching the VC perspectives on the Ton ecosystem, and what's your vision on the VC inside the Ton, because like there is not much tier 1 VCs in the Ton ecosystem. Like Pantera recently invested, like I have seen that Gate Ventures, but still like you are one of the top supporter and top VC. And how do you see the perspective for the VCs in the Ton ecosystem? How do you, the valuations of the projects comparing maybe to the Avalanche chain, Solana chain, and the VC perspective?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I can speak about it like for 30 minutes, next 30 minutes about like the VC landscape on Ton in general. And yeah, I would say that on Ton we really have an interesting situation right now when a lot of VCs say that they're interested in investing in Ton projects, but actually not deploying money on Ton. This is kind of a problem. I don't know the exact reason for like all of them, obviously, but for some of them, they're not just ready to do their own like homework and to do research. I mean, this is kind of ridiculous how many VCs come to us and say like, hey guys, just let us know where you're going to invest and we probably will follow up. Not probably, but like most likely we'll follow up, which is kind of, in my opinion, this is very weird. And this is like I would say this is the general landscape of all the crypto VCs. Instead of doing their own homework, they just like rely on the
like following just.
Yeah, I mean they just can join around of like, for example, Ton Ventures, because Ton Ventures obviously knows the ecosystem like really well.
Copy trading.
I just wanted to say, type of guys who use this function on the exchanges.
Obviously, I don't want to say any like bad words about names you just said, because they actually deploy money on their own, like I don't know, Gate Ventures, Pantera, and
no, they really invested. I see
I'm just saying that they actually invest. They like do their own homework. I don't know, OKX Ventures. They do a lot of research on the ecosystem, but there are so many like. Second grade, let's call it so, investors who just want to copy trade, like as you just said, which is kind of weird in my opinion. But yeah, I'm not complaining, because we will try to help those VCs as well. I mean, because we have a lot of information about the ecosystem. We spend 100% of our time, 120% of our time, like talking to teams, getting information, doing due diligence, etc., etc. So we will try to help all those, let's call them external VCs. So I'm just trying to highlight, to show what's the VC landscape right now in Ton. If we speak about other aspects of VC, like timelines, people do not invest much right now. I mean, VCs do not invest much. Maybe, by the way, maybe because of like things happened in France. At that moment, we started getting a lot of questions from VCs saying, "Hey, what do you expect in the future?" Blah blah blah. Obviously, everything is fine, is bad at least right now, but they're still like a bit concerned. Speaking about like timelines, are you talking about like timelines, like how much it takes?
The deal timeline,
okay, yeah. So. For us, it usually takes not more than 2 weeks to actually make the decision and sign documents. Like how much time it will take for the wire transfer to your bank account, it's a different question, because it depends on the jurisdiction.
The decision-making process, like
but decision-making process for us, it usually takes not more than 2 weeks for projects that we actually believe in. I have to say it this way, because sometimes you talk to a team and you have some concerns, and you start talking to them like, "Hey guys, I don't know, we started due diligence and we found this, and that. How would you answer this?"
Can you just drop top 3 concerns that you face? I think it's gonna be interesting.
Most of the concerns are related to team backgrounds, to be honest, because most of the entrepreneurs, they're serial entrepreneurs, so this is not their own. This is not their first business, and just one case. I don't want to say the company, but for example, guys that were running Web2 AI related business in the past. They shut it down, but if you Google the name of the service, there are a lot of complaints from people saying, "Hey, we paid for a lifetime subscription and we didn't get a refund." Like, just an example. Yeah. And you start digging deeper into this and like, "Hey guys, what happened there?
Yeah,
like, could you please explain what happened there? Why they are saying that there was no like chargeback or whatever?" And they actually like, "Yeah, this what happened." So, just one example. Or another example, you look at the background of founders and you see that they were like founders of the project, which I don't want to say scammed people, but essentially there were like not very good things going on in the team. And you start like asking what happened, what was the reason? You want to get some details on that. Another very interesting thing what you usually face with is like, for example, they were investors in their previous business. you go to those investors and say, hey guys, what do you think about like these founders? Sometimes they say, yeah, they were like really doing the best. I mean, they tried the best, but yeah, business didn't work. Sometimes they say we are 95% sure that founders were not doing everything that they could do, or they say we are 90% sure that they were like taking money out of the company.
I see.
These kind of things happen as well. So I'm just saying that it is like case by case, depends. But most of the time it's about team's background. Sometimes you actually also we're faced with problems related to like the business model of a company. Like, hey, we're going to, I don't know, launch a token. We're going to partner with a big company with 1 billion valuation. And you have to go to the company. You have to go to get some information that they actually signed a document with this company or going to sign a document with this company. So there are lots of things to do. So yeah, usually it takes like up to 2 weeks to make a decision.
Yeah, it's great that market is became that mature. That's top one concern for you is like the second or third time founders, because like on the previous market, almost all of the developers and founders was the first time founders, so they didn't know how to do business in the Web3 and the crypto space. Yes, so and now market became mature, and yes, there maybe was a bad background for some of them, but still it's an experience. I'm not saying about the people that scammed their products, but yes, it's good that market is mature now.
I can actually say one thing here is that first-time founders, unfortunately, in like 90% cases, their businesses do not make much sense. Because of that, you just like, you do not even consider them as potential investment. Maybe not 90, but 80% of founders, they just like, they're delusional founders, as I call them.
But what about the founders who came from hackathons, bootcamps?
It's a good question as well, because, for example, there was a hackathon organized by Ton Society, like the Open League Hackathon, as far as I remember it was called. And we actually talked to almost 100 teams out of the hackathon. There were like more than 1,000 teams taking part. We talked to all semifinalists, almost all semifinalists that we were able to reach out. And in the end, we are going to invest in 2.
Nice.
Out of 100.
But still, good conversion.
Yeah, 2% conversion is not that bad.
It's still so good.
From hackathon.
Yeah, from a hackathon, yeah. But it was like online hackathon for like a couple months. There were a lot of boot camps. Another hackathon is going on right now, by the way. I have a flight tonight to India. There is going to be a boot camp. So I'm going to just want to understand what's the market there. I mean, in terms of developers and founders in India.
Yeah, I do like how Ton makes these hackathons because it's like the online, offline boot camps. And yes, it's probably one of the biggest currently because like I attended the Ethereum CC and it's more like 5 times per year, but Ton hackathon is like
every week.
Every week, really.
No, I mean, the hackathon itself is actually for 2 months, but I would say that the boot camps, there are going to be 20 boot camps, for example. I mean, this is one hackathon for like 2 months, but there are offline boot camps for 3 days. Hackathons in Ton, they actually happen twice per year, to be honest. I mean, there was one hackathon this spring, and there's another hackathon going on right now. But there are a lot of boot camps. Like the hackathon lasts for like 2 months, and there are going to be, I believe, 20 boot camps for this hackathon. And this is, in my opinion, this is very important because boot camps are small hackathons as well.
Yeah.
They are for 3 days in different cities. I've been already to 2 boot camps, one in Astana and one in Moscow. Very interesting experience. Like when you talk to developers, there are a lot of developers. Last hackathon this year, during the spring, I was in Tbilisi, for example, and there were 55 teams pitching at one boot camp.
Offline teams?
Offline.
Wow.
There were more than 1,000 applications for the online hackathon. Obviously, those like 55 are like a part of this 1,000. So I'm just saying that there are boot camps that work really well when you have a chance to talk with developers in person. That's why I'm going to India, actually, just again, to talk to developers to understand what they can do and what they can build. So yeah, boot camps work really well. Hackathons, again, like if we count conversion from semifinalists to companies that we invested in, it's 2%. If we count conversion from like all the participants of the hackathon to investments, it's like 0.2% because there were like over 1,000 applications. But in general, it's still good, right?
It's still
nice.
You joining the hackathon and you get the chance to get funded by Ton Ventures. So it's a big thing. And for all the hackathon participants, it's also the thing, because I remember I was in Warsaw Bootcamp last year probably, and you know, I just saw how passionate all the people are there. People are just building, you know, generating new ideas and being thrilled by this thing that they can go to Ton, they can be closer to the team. They see Ton Foundation team in there who just sitting and judging them and, you know, getting closer and closer to it. So it's just an amazing thing for all the developers, I think, and not only developers, just to get involved in the ecosystem.